Well, here we are again. It's the holiday season once more, and again I'll be taking a look at one of the more high-profile releases this year. And in this video, I'll be taking a look at the fifth technically, entry to the Assassin's Creed saga with Assassin's Creed 3. So, does this newest entry to the series live up to the expectations of a series that has garnered Ubisoft a massive amount of fans, not to mention sales over the past 5 years? Well, I already know the answer considering I just beat it, but for all intents and purposes, let's take a closer look. This game begins with a recently awakened Desmond Miles. Desmond and his allies travel to a location in the northeastern US as it holds the secret location of a temple which they hope will give them an answer to prevent Doomsday in 2012. This is the point where people who haven't played any of the Assassin's Creed games think I'm just making stuff up. And for good reason. As Desmond enters the temple, it turns out that he doesn't have sufficient memories to unlock the secrets hidden inside, despite witnessing the majority of two of his ancestors' lives. So naturally, it's off to the Animus we go for another journey through history. The protagonist this time around is a lad whose mother is a Native American of the Mohawk tribe, and his father, who he never knew, was an Englishman. Now, this character does have a name given to him by the tribe, but to quote a character from the game, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So most people just call him Connor. As a child, Connor's village was burned to the ground by Colonial General Charles Lee. As a result of seeing his village in ruins, not to mention his mother burned before his eyes, he then dedicates his life to stopping injustice wherever he sees it. Once he becomes of age, he is told that his people are the guardians of a secret artifact. Yeah, that one. He is also told of people who would wish to use this power to carry out their own nefarious goals. These people being the Templars. So Connor sets out to stop these men and hopefully prevent such atrocities from happening to his people, or innocents, ever again. Now, those of you who have already played this game may be asking, but E-Dog, aren't you going to mention? No, I am not. And yes, this is intentional. For those of you who haven't played this yet, well, you'll find out what I mean if you do. Considering this game takes place before and during the events of the American Revolution, you will of course be traversing to areas such as 1700s Boston, New York, and the occasional frontier along the way. But also considering the timeline, you will be running into some historical figures along the way. From one of my favorite maltsters, Samuel Adams, to the man responsible for the creation of the lightning rod, to even the man who owned the honor of being placed on the $1 bill. However, keep in mind that Connor, being a Native American and having goals that don't necessarily match up with the Patriots, doesn't much care to get involved in the revolution, at least initially. So more often than not, he ends up being pressured into helping them through clever incentives. Incentives that usually add up to, if you help us out, we'll help you get to your target. As a result of this, you'll end up having yourself a tea party, taking a ride to the towns of Lexington and Concord around midnight, and even helping colonists defend their cities from British invasion. But along with just these missions, there are also many side quests in which you may partake, ranging from mini objectives in the cities to help fully liberate the citizens from Templar control, to single-handedly taking down enemy forts, and you even may receive invites to complete special challenges for hunting clubs. But even aside from these side missions, you get to partake in what is by far my favorite aspect of this game, the naval battles. At some point, you will find yourself the proud captain of your own vessel. As a result, you will unlock missions in which you will find yourself facing against pirates, privateers, and members of the Royal Navy. While in this mode, you steer the ship and command either your main cannons or the less powerful swivel cannons to fire upon enemy vessels. Some missions here and there will have you boarding an enemy ship, but usually you just need to destroy all enemies that stand in your path. Now, these battles do have varying factors to them, ranging from how many enemies you face, to the size of their vessels, to even the weather, and most of the time, a combination of the three. Despite the simplicity of this game element, I must say that if Ubisoft pursued making a full-blown pirate or privateer game on this engine, I would be first in line to buy it. Seriously guys, you're sitting on a gold mine here. Now let's move on to the multiplayer. This element allows you to play the newest product of Abstergo Industries. You know, the Templars. There are overall 12 different game modes, including combinations. The first mode is free-for-all, which is self-explanatory. Manhunt, which has you teaming up in groups of 4. At the beginning of each round, you are assigned a target on the other team, while you yourself are also a target for someone else. Your goal is to find your target in the crowds and dispose of them. Moving right along, there is Domination Mode, which has you attempting to capture and hold the majority of various territories. Then there's Wolfpack, which has you teaming up with 4 players, and it's your goal to assassinate various NPC targets. Every time you or your teammate takes out a target, the amount of time you get in your session increases. The longer your sessions last, the more points both you and your teammates will be able to gain for yourselves. In all of these game modes, discretion is highly rewarded in 2 forms. Firstly, the more discreet you are about your kills, whether by slowly approaching your target, hiding within crowds or haystacks, or even killing them from above, rewards you with more points. The second incentive of being discreet lies in the fact that if you are moving around too quickly or recklessly, enemy players will easily spot you and either take you out or stun you if they are your target, forcing you to pursue someone else. Overall, the main campaign of this game should take you around 15 hours, but considering the replay value and not to mention multiplayer, this is one game that can keep you occupied for quite a while. Now for the reviewing. Let's begin with the gameplay, shall we? This game, by far, has the most refined engine of the series. Free running works like a charm, whether you're sprinting across the roofs of Boston or climbing and jumping through trees. But even aside from this, the combat system has been smoothed out as well. Attacking enemies is largely the same, with you pulling off different moves while using different weapons. Each weapon has its own statistics varying from range, power, block efficiency, and parrying efficiency. While in combat, you will occasionally see a marker above your enemy's head. If you press the parry button at the right time, then the game will temporarily slow down, giving you time to choose which type of counter you wish to use. Considering the time period, you will, of course, be using guns. However, just because you can use guns doesn't necessarily mean you should. Keep in mind, at the time, most muskets and pistols only held one shot, and needed to be reloaded after firing. Even worse is the fact that these weapons take quite a while to reload. Now, after killing an enemy, you can just pick up their rifle to quickly pull off a shot, but it's highly encouraged to just use your standard arsenal of weapons rather than guns. Now let's look at the graphics. No, seriously, just look at them. The amount of polish put into the main characters, NPCs, lush environments, war-torn cities, and vast open seas is astounding and shows great attention to detail. Now, I have been giving this game quite a bit of praise so far, and it fairly deserves it. But I do have one problem. Keep in mind, this is a problem I have with every Assassin's Creed game. I just haven't talked about any of those games until now. First and foremost, I'd like to say that the storyline of this game is very compelling and well put together in respects to both Connor and Desmond. However, herein lies my problem. I personally never liked the fact that you are constantly traveling between the past and present, as I feel that it's very jarring and tends to make the storyline more complicated than it already is. But my personal gripe aside, can I still recommend this game? Well, absolutely. This is by far one of the best games I've played this year, and definitely the best in its series. So if you like the series and haven't played this one yet, you truly owe it to yourself to pick this one up. Soon you'll be igniting the flames of revolution and dispatching of redcoats with liberty and justice for all. So until next time, this is E-Dog saying, nothing is true, everything is permitted. See you next time.